When I was growing up, my parents taught me about Jesus, and I always knew him as my friend. So even as a young kid, I really had the strong idea that he was my friend, and that he was not only real, but he was a very, just a really closely tied part of my life. I guess you could say distractions kind of came in, and so while God had always been my friend, and you know, he'd always been right there where I could talk to, other things kind of, I guess when school started happening, you know, started looking at what my friends were doing, and I think it just it became distractions that sort of pushed God to the background. And so while he had always been my friend and I can talk with him, because he wasn't so visible all the time, it was easy to kind of watch him go to the background. In middle school, my greatest ambition was to have the approval of my friends, and I saw the popular group, and basically it looked like they were having the most fun in life, and it looked like they were just, you know, everyone liked them, and it looked like they were having the best kind of life. And so I just thought that it was in my best interest to just do everything I could to fit in with them. And so I just worked really hard, just worked my butt off to get, you know, in with that group, and so whatever that meant, whether it was changing my values, changing the things I like, changing my preferences, the kind of person I was, I did whatever I could to change who I was, to fit in with that group, because I thought that was the ultimate goal. And so so slowly that just began to change who I was, because I was shaping myself to fit into to where I thought they would like me. Into high school, just you know, all the work had finally paid off, and I was in that group that I, you know, really wanted to be in. And so all of this life that I thought I saw them having, you know, it was just, you know, just the parties, or you know, just their values, just what they were running after in life. That was where I thought I saw real life. And so the more I went after that, the more I found that it was fun for a short amount of time, and then it just brought so much brokenness inside of me and emptiness. And so just the more I went and the more we got into that, and the more I started giving my life to follow after these values, the more I just felt empty inside. So a turning point came when I was at my friend's Bay House. It was in Galveston, and so just started feeling like my friends really they weren't even really my friends, just feeling this emptiness that I was talking about. And so I felt this emptiness and just decided to get away by myself. And so went out to the middle of the bay in the middle of the night in a canoe and just paddled out as far as I could go, and went out to the middle of the bay, and I just started talking to God. I knew I needed some time with him. And so I just asked God, you know, I was like, I don't know why I feel so bad, but I just asked that you would show me what's going on. And so right after this, I just heard maybe just a small thought came into my mind where it just said faith. And so just a small little thought. And I was just thinking, okay, maybe that was from God. I guess I can try and do that. You know, I'll try and make that happen. Didn't really know what that would mean to try and do that, but I just was like, okay, I'll try. And so then I decided to head back to the shore, because I'd been gone for a long time and I was really far out. And so I put my paddle in the water in the middle of the night, and you know, middle of this bay, you know, and so I put my paddle in the water, and as soon as I go to turn around, a wave comes over the side and completely fills the canoe, tips it over, and it's actually underneath the water, floating kind of neutrally buoyant under the water. And then I just found myself in the middle of the bay, just in the middle of this blackness, in the middle of just nothing, and just feeling completely out of control, no control at all. And so I just was kind of trying to get a grasp of the situation, and I just looked up at the sky, and it was the middle of the night, so just all these stars, and so the water was still over my ears, and so just you know, just complete silence. And I looked up at the stars, and just immediately I heard so clearly, just heard it so clear, just within my mind, this is what faith is really like. And so in that moment, God showed me that I'd been asking him, you know, God, I need you to show me something. And he showed me in that moment that faith is when I don't have any control, but I can only rely on him. And so from that moment on, from that time right there, I just started praying, and he took me all the way back to the shore through the shark-infested water, and took me back safely. And so from that point on, I knew that something big had just happened, but I wasn't sure exactly how pivotal it would be. But what that really was God showing me these words that I've spent my whole life hearing about in church, like faith. These words have so much of a deeper meaning than I could have ever realized. And so just being able to experience a small taste of that one word in that one instant made me realize that if every single word that God says has that much depth, I want to get to know Him. And so from that point on, I started dedicating my life, taking small steps as God led, just to get to know Him more. And so that process has been the most life-giving experience, where gradually He's helped me lose that fake outside, and then He's been filling me up on the inside to where it's true life on the inside, the kind of thing that I was looking for that whole time. And so really just as God grows more of that inside of me, it makes me want to go on more. And so I would say that was just when I decided to be a disciple of Jesus and take what He says and apply it to my life if He's shown me that it can be that real. And so the thing that keeps me going is just finding the new life, and that it can be new every single day, that there can be more of me filled up every day to experience the fullness of what God intends for us. And so just being led by Him and doing the things that He has for me has been the most exciting thing that I could have ever done. And so just where I spent my whole life before really encountering Jesus that way, I spent my whole life trying to find that life. And now I finally have in Christ. And the great thing is that I get to grow in that more and more until the day I die, and then it will be in the fullness. So that's what really makes following Jesus exciting and just a worthwhile thing every single day.